If you're looking for a salon quality blow dry, but you don't know how to use a round brush, stay tuned because I'm going to show you exactly step by step how to do it at home, but without having to go and pay at a salon. What you need to begin with is going to be either a mousse or a boosting spray for your roots. The other item that you're going to need is some type of mousse. Alright you guys, you don't have to tell me, I already know, I am looking real rough. This is about 2-day-old hair and I definitely am due for a wash. So that's what we're about to do, and then I'll show you what I'm about to do next after I come back. You want to start by towel drying your hair. It cannot be sopping wet. The next step is to get your leave-in conditioner, spray that on your mids to ends only, avoid your roots. You're going to use your blow dry serum. I like to use the one by Olaplex. You can use whichever one you like as long as you have heat protection in it. That is the biggest thing that we need to make sure we are not frying your hair. Then you're going to brush all of that product through thoroughly just to get it evenly distributed throughout your hair. Okay, so we're going to use our volumizing mousse at the root. I spray that right on my hand and then I put it all over my roots right here. You can see as I section it through. I go ahead and do this all around my head and I try to rub it in really good. I don't get it right on my scalp, but I just like to get it everywhere I can. And then we're going to blow dry that into our root area. I am trying to do the opposite side of my head just to create more volume. You'll see me flip my hair to the other side, and then once I get to the back, I try to flip my hair to the front. Then I'm going to brush it through. My hair is a little bit dry at the root, but it's still wet at the ends. And we want to get it like 70% dry, and so we can start clipping it up. Okay, now that we have our hair clipped up, what we're going to do is grab our mousse and we're actually going to rake that through. You're going to put just about a quarter size in your palm and then rub it together, and you only need to rake that through your mids to your ends. Try to avoid the root of your hair at all costs because that's pretty much already dry and you don't want to make it all crusty. So you're going to start with the back of your hair. I'm just brushing that through right now just because it's a little bit sticky. And you're going to blow dry from roots to ends. You're going to see my brush get stuck sometimes. That's okay. Just try to pull it through to the ends until you get unstuck. I got my clip there, completely dry. I'm just going to roll that out, and then I'm going to take it and wrap it right around my fingers like you see me doing here, and tuck it underneath so I can roll it up and pin it. Some people like to use rollers, which I have used rollers before. It's just the Velcro is not my friend and my hair just ends up getting stuck. So I find that pinning my hair is the best way to go. So now I'm back to the front. If you can see the way I'm holding my blow dryer, I'm blow drying straight down onto that hair. I'm also trying to not hold it directly onto my hair, and I'm actually right here putting a cold shot on it. So I'm pressing that cold button on there to help seal in the cuticle. So we're gonna roll that out. This is polishing the ends, and it comes out really nice. I'm gonna roll that up, and then I'm gonna pin it, as best I can at least. Now we have our second section down. We're gonna do the same thing. Grab the mousse, rub it in your hands. You only wanna use about a quarter size for those sections. And your section should never be bigger than your brush. I'm using a medium round brush. If you have longer hair, you can use a bigger round brush, but right now I'm really just trying to get volume, and I kind of want to put a little bit of a bend in my hair. So you're going to see me going a couple different directions with the round brush. Every single time I put the round brush on there, I'm using the nozzle to direct the airflow either down or straight up, depending on where it's at. So you're going to roll your hair out and then wrap it around your fingers. And if you see me using my thumb right there, that's how I get it tucked under. So now we're working on the back of the head, which is a little bit more difficult, especially if you're doing it yourself. You want to over direct the hair basically straight up. That's going to give you the most volume is when you're over directing your hair. It is kind of difficult to do the back, but you know, you do the best you can. So there I finished. I'm going to set down my blow dryer and then wrap it around my fingers just like that. And we're gonna pin it and move on to the next one. As we work our way to the front, you're gonna see me start to over direct also to the front. Right now, I'm trying to go towards my face and away from my face. That's because I want to create movement, but anytime I'm holding that round brush, I'm directing the hair away from it and not towards it. Your cuticle is like shingles on a roof, so if you look at it, water runs on roofs directly down, and it never goes up. You don't want to get anything up on that cuticle. So for this part, again, I'm just wrapping around my fingers, and then I'm going to pin it straight up. Now we're moving on to the top section, and I'm getting a little tired. I just need a neck stretch. Okay, so for the top sections, it's really important to be over directing the hair. As you can see, some of my small little baby hairs are falling out of the section. I mean, that's okay. It happens. When we're done at the end, I'll show you how I use hairspray to make sure we get those little baby hairs. You see the techniques I'm using? I'm always trying to go underneath and on top of the hair. I naturally have fine, straight hair, but if you have curly hair, tension is going to be your best friend. So always have tension on your hair. And you also want to start at the root right there. As you're working through the top of your head, make sure that you're also rolling that round brush through your fingers. Instead of using your wrist to go back and forth, just pay attention to my fingers and how I roll that brush in my fingers. Or obviously you're going to get a lot tired, more tired fast. I'm going straight up, and then I'm blow drying straight down on that cuticle. This is probably the most important part of your head. You want to make sure that this section is really good and really over directed forward so that you have volume at the crown of your head. So when I roll the brush up like that and just hold the blow dryer there, I'm doing what's called a cold shot, where I just hold the cold button to try to cool it off for a minute. It helps to set the curl. So I just continue throughout the rest of my head until I get to that top section. For those little pieces that are really fine towards the front of your face, try not to over blow dry those, just because they are a little bit more fragile and they see a lot more damage than the rest of your hair. Okay, now we're finally at the top section. So I sectioned all of my crown area out, I got my mousse, and I'm gonna run it through the mids to ends and the whole entire section. Now you can see exactly where my starting point is. I'm gonna take a width of my brush, and then I'm gonna section that out, and I'm gonna go straight up with that. So in this part, you wanna make sure you get the root really good. Sometimes you're gonna have frizz there, that's just from rough blow drying in the beginning. That's okay, we'll fix that later. Just make sure that you get that part really good. You're gonna see me wrapping that hair right around the brush, all the way up, and then over directing forward. And the way you know that you're done blow drying is if your hair can easily roll just like that. So we're just gonna pin that up, and then we're gonna work through the rest of the head, and I'll see you guys when I'm done and all pinned up. Okay, so for that last section in the very front, if you saw I blow dried basically underneath it, you want to pin that one really good. That's going to be the very front of your hair, and that's what everyone's going to see. This is what your hair should look like. It's definitely not pretty. It could look a lot better, but that's okay. It doesn't have to look pretty, it just has to be functional. So I'm going to start taking down the clips. I'm already really happy with the way it's turning out. Everything is super bouncy, and that mousse isn't even crunchy, so that's why I like to use that kind of mousse. It's just a flexible hold, and it doesn't make it hard or anything like that. So you can see my ends have a little bit of bounce to them and a little bit of curl. Once I brush to that at the end, it's going to look really good. So I'm going to try not to disturb everything until I'm very done at the end. I'll do a quick little twirl so you guys can see. Okay, so what we're going to use is the Powder Play by Big and Sexy Hair. This is going to put a little bit of grit right on your root right there, and that way when you brush through your hair, it's not going to make it flat. You want to keep the volume in there, and for fine hair, it's just super soft. Next, we're going to use our texture spray, and before I even brush through it, I'm going to put that texture spray all over my head, which is apparently really cloudy. all brushed through, you can pretty much see the end result. I do need to do a little bit of styling, so I'm going to show you how I do the very front of my hair with a clip and some hairspray. So you're just going to clip it. I have a side part so it works well right there. You kind of just manipulate the hair right there until you get it where you want it. And then you're going to take your hairspray and you're just going to spray it and let it set a minute before you take it back down. So it's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to take that down. And then what I'm going to use is that comb right there so I can manipulate that front piece to lay the way that I want it to. This is the before. It was looking real rough. And then this is the after. Thanks, and see you next time.